What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video in the Road to 1 Million series, where we document our journey from $0 to $1 million in revenue, wholesaling real estate, and with our software. So why should you listen to me? I'm only one step ahead of you in business. I'm not like Hormozy. I'm not like all these big guys that you listen to. They're 10 levels ahead. They know more than both of us. They know more than me. They know more than you. But if you're at $0, I'm a step ahead of you in that game. So our problems, we're documenting our problems, and they're gonna be very relatable and very similar to you. So that's what we're trying to do here with this and with Ali's channel. So check it out, link in the description. But today I wanted to talk about the importance of taking action and not overthinking. So when we started out, excuse me, just chugging some water. When we started out, we tried to overanalyze, we tried to perfect everything before taking action, which is a big mistake that happens to a lot of people. And actually, in the reality, it's why a lot of people never even get started in the first place. They're overthinking. They think, oh, I know, I had the same thought when I was younger, when I was in high school. I thought, when I'm older, I'll be ready. I'll have more time. I'll have more knowledge. I'll know more people. Some of those may be true. You may be a little bit smarter. You may know a little bit more people, but you will never feel ready. You will never feel ready to start. And if you've started a business, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It didn't feel right, but it didn't feel as if you were ready, but it felt as if you wanted to take that step and finally get started. But that goes for even transitioning within your business or making crucial decisions along your entrepreneurship journey. Is you're never going to be smart enough, or you're never going to feel like you know enough to take the next step, because there's so much beyond theory. You know, they say theory only takes you so far, and that's so true. So instead of spending months and months and months researching something, so say you're wanting to get into real estate, wholesaling real estate, instead of researching for months and months and months, pick up the phone, start calling Zillow for rents or for sale by owners, buy your first round of leads, that sort of thing. Repetitions are going to do so much more for you and your business than any amount of research can. Now, don't be an idiot. Don't just start start an airplane company tomorrow and not have anybody or anything like that. That's ridiculous. But take action more often than you think. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because we're currently developing our software, and we could try to make this perfect. We have this huge vision for it where it's going to have like a bunch of people. There's like tons of people on it. There's going to be crazy tools and integrations. But we know that this is going to take years and years and years to get to the point where we want it to be perfect. Well, that'll be perfect, but the point where we envision it going. But that's not what we're going to do. We're going to make an MVP, which is a minimum viable product. So that's like the lowest version if you're in a product business, or even sometimes in services. Like it's also the case. You can start with like super entry level things, but it's less applicable in a service business. And you want to just get that to the market, get feedback, because oftentimes you're going to pivot based on what the market thinks. You may have an idea in your head, but you're just one person. You have all sorts of biases and life experiences and goals that may overlook the reality of what the market needs and what you're best suited to deliver to the market. And so there's tons of examples like this. For example, Bezos started selling books on Amazon. He didn't start, it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to ship everything to your house in 2 days. That wasn't the business plan. He's not like, oh, I'm going to start AWS, I'm going to start Prime. None of this. Facebook was what? It was like a dating site or something. It was to help Zuckerberg try to find girls because he was homeless in college. Like, you're not going to know what your company is going to turn into 5-10 years. And so don't try to perfect it. Just get it started. Take that next step. So for us, that looks like we're just going to try to cater to immediate needs of sellers, of wholesalers. And we're going to give them something that we think is going to be valuable, and that we've heard from people that they would find valuable. We're going to continue to get feedback while we develop it. Ali is doing most of the coding. I'm doing some of the tool like technical stuff, but I'm also going to go out to people, and we've spoken to a few people about what exactly they're looking for, what tools they want, how often they would be open to using something like this. Because a lot of things big issue that people don't consider is that if you have something really good, that's great. But if people don't use it, it doesn't mean anything. And that may sound like, oh, when would that ever happen? But if you have a product that is new, people don't like change, even if that change is plain and obviously good for them. So if it's a simple pattern interruption for somebody's day and for someone's business habits, it is going to be much more difficult than you think to get them to adopt. That's why there's that early adopters curve. It's like a little bell curve. Ali was just talking about this. Adoption of any new thing is extremely exponential. It's super slow, and then finally a bunch of people do it, and everyone's like, all right, well, this is difficult for me to do because it's new, but I trust that all of these people who are a similar avatar to myself, so say it's an investor, that guy's a real estate investor, he uses this. I see there's 100 people, I see there's 1,000 people, I see there's 10,000 people. Maybe it's time to hop on and let me get into that. So that's the middle of the curve. And then the late people are like the sticklers, are like, oh, this is never going to work. People that didn't open an email until 2010, for example. But this is extremely important in your business career, and not only to get started. So if you haven't started, start today. Make one phone call, send one email, post one video, do something. You're going to learn much more. Now make sure to reflect on this. Don't call 1,000 people and do it the exact same way every single time. You're going to subconsciously get a little bit better, but you reflect every so often at every interval, excuse me, long day. At every interval that you decide, look at it, analyze it, see what you can do better. So make sure you're documenting. A big thing is to have data in your business, because if you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're doing wrong, and you can't systematize what you're doing right. So if you have a sales guy, or if you are the sales guy, because I'm talking to people who are early on, you may be good at sales. You may be naturally a good yapper. You can sit down with somebody, you can convince them out of a few grand, whatever. But if you hire somebody because you want to scale your business, you don't want to be a slave, because really until you have people working for you, it is as much, if not more, grueling than a 9-to-5. So if you want to scale and get anywhere near the entrepreneurial dream, you need people to do stuff for you. And if you don't know why you're doing something, if you just kind of do it, you're like, you hear this all the time, you're like, oh, I can do this, but I can't explain it. People like athletes will say this, like for like technique and that sort of thing. My little brother says this all the time. He's a decent athlete, and he'll be, oh, I don't know how I did it, I just did it. It's like, well, shut the fuck up. Of course you know how you did it. So take that, systematize it, and learn from it. So you're either going to learn from it for yourself, and if you're already good at it, you're going to keep that data and teach it to somebody down the line. But to get to that point where you have data to look back on or data to teach with, you need to take action. Don't start thinking. There's nothing you can do. I can sit here and I can read 100 books on calling people or on sales. But if I went into a car dealership and got a job as a salesman, or if I scraped a lead list from PropStream or something like that and called homeowners, I'm going to look at my calls and I'm going to see so much more. I'm going to learn so much more because I actually can do it. So don't get caught into this trap of the never-ending information cycle, because it's super easy in the internet age where you can go onto YouTube, you can go onto Instagram, even like these brain rot, like even like TikTok, you can go on there and you can learn so much. And so you're getting this feedback loop of like, okay, I'm getting better, because you are learning. So there is some truth to that. You are getting a little bit more knowledgeable in the field. And so it's easy to get trapped in this. I was trapped in this for years. I still am in some regards. I'll be like, oh, there's more to learn. Take the action. It's almost always better to learn through action. Now, if you have somebody that's close to you, like a mentor, or really like a mentor in this case, or maybe you hear some information on somebody that explicitly says, don't do something this way, don't be an idiot. Don't do it that way then. But as far as like a general rule goes for generalized action of like growing a business, of getting things started and of transitioning and of growing in your business, take action, look back on it, note it when it works, and then teach it in the future. But that's all I have for today. On our road to 1 million, we are still at 38,000, so 3.8%. In a week, we should be getting another pop-up shop stimmy from the old marketing business, which is nice. That's almost $2,000. But we are deciding whether or not we want to continue pursuing proactive leads, so like Google Ads and cold calling, or if we're just going to do pay per lead while we develop the software in its initial stages, because we might be entering a funding competition through my college. So we'll see on that. I'll keep you guys updated on our verdict. We're going to be talking to Ali's going to be talking to one of his, more importantly, but collectively, longtime mentors, and getting his opinion on that. So I'll keep you guys updated with that. But let me know what you think about this one. Let me know if you are in that cycle of thinking rather than doing and learning rather than doing. Just do it and then learn from your experiences and combine that with the knowledge you get from others and from the internet. But that's all I have for today. See you next time.